I mean, it was a wreck, and who wants more punch?
Oh, yes, sure. Thank you.
That's my helper.
Welcome back to the Teacup Trail. We are on episode 5 of season 7. This video is actually part 2 of episode 5 of season 7. Elizabeth looked over to Nathan, and Nathan was like in sync with Elizabeth. Like, he knew what she was laughing about and smiling about, and he just returned that same reaction, the same gesture to Elizabeth. Then Elizabeth looked over to Lucas, and Lucas waved at her, and I was like, he really didn't have to wave at her, but I was just wondering why he did. I'm assuming that he probably wanted to confirm to himself that she was looking at him like eye to eye. Like, when you like someone and that person that you like gives you that direct eye contact, it's a good feeling. And Lucas waving at her not only that his confident self, but he wanted to make sure that she was looking at Lucas, and Elizabeth waved back to him, a little bit shy there for her. Then Nathan, I feel so bad for him. He thought that Elizabeth's attention was still on him, and when she waved, Nathan assumed that she was waving at him, but part of me, it didn't really make sense because Lucas was like to one side, and then Nathan was like standing on the other side of the table. So I don't know how Nathan get that wrong signal of Elizabeth waving at him. Nathan was disappointed by the end of this scene. Jealous, I would say. Also, waving to your crush is a bonus point. So Lucas got the bonus point in this scene. At the end, Elizabeth seemed uneasy. She was a bit awkward of what just happened at the very end. She realized what she had done. One man is happy, the other man is not so happy. And in the back of her mind, before this scene happened, I truly believe that she already assumed that the flowers were either from Lucas or Nathan. Very friendly to both of them. Who knows, maybe Elizabeth thought it was Lucas that gave her the flowers after that wave, and she's just thinking to herself, did I just make a mess? Like, this is so awkward. It's so obvious now to me that they are potentially two men competing for my attention, and I do not know who sent me the flowers.
It's good to see Elizabeth having so much fun.
Yes, it is.
She's so sweet, kind-hearted, giving. Maybe it's time somebody did something nice for her.
Well, I like to think that I already have.
Oh. Good for you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Little magic trick.
Uh-huh.
In general, it's basically they talk about the mystery flowers, but indirectly, like without saying flowers. And Lucas, of course, tried to find out if Nathan did send the flowers. And when Nathan said that he already had something in mind, or if he already done something nice for Elizabeth, and Lucas, of course, got a little bit suspicious and maybe a little bit jealous in there for Nathan thinking ahead. But part of me, I feel like Nathan's comment about him doing something nice for Elizabeth, I feel like it's a lie in a way, because we haven't seen him doing anything for Elizabeth. Like, we haven't seen him do that parent-teacher gift. So I was just thinking, did he plan something in the back of his mind? Like he already like started doing something for Elizabeth gift, or he just like kind of lied to Lucas because he probably still embarrassed about the earlier scene, the hand wave. So Nathan just trying to like show to Lucas that he like, you know, cool. Like he already a step ahead of Lucas. So Lucas suddenly left Nathan and it's just like game on.
Well,
No, everyone's gonna look. Is that right?
yeah, just a little this way. Perfect.
I'm so sorry.
Nathan joined in on the fun, of course, because he wanted to keep an eye on Lucas. Nathan is jealous, and he noticed that Lucas and Elizabeth are getting close, especially physically. Like, Lucas did touch Elizabeth on the elbow. Even Clara and Florence, if you've seen it really closely, these two women also sense that there's a spark going on between Elizabeth and Lucas. Like everyone's attention were on this couple. And then the dart landed inside Nathan's glass. I feel bad for Nathan. I mean, this is like legit the most embarrassing night for him in Hope Valley. It's just bad things keep happening to him in regard to Elizabeth and his competition against Lucas. Everyone were laughing at him, and Elizabeth, being the fair, kind lady she is, she tried to apologize to Nathan. But Nathan tried to keep his cool, but at the same time, he really hating this moment, this night. He really see that Lucas is winning. At the same time, you have to think what that means. Like, I understand Team Nathan, like the dart landed on Nathan, like Nathan maybe is the one for Elizabeth. But at the same time, I question myself, like, why do the writers have to put that in?
Well done. That was
Thank
very
you.
close.
Very good.
Thank you.
Hey, Bill said he wanted to speak to you.
Okay.
Something about the fruit?
Sure. Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
You seem pretty good with those. Do you want to show me? I'm not that good.
Sure.
Apparently you wanted to talk to me?
No, I didn't want to talk to you.
Oh, but
Hey.
Better.
Up to this point, this scene, I want to say that Elizabeth is more interested in Lucas than Nathan. I'm not gonna say that Elizabeth picked Lucas, especially this early on. But right now, I truly believe between the two men, she is very interested, more interested in hanging out with Lucas than Nathan, especially on this night of the bachelorette party. Why I'm saying this is because her reaction when she found out that Nathan was standing behind her and Lucas left her alone with Nathan, she didn't really seem happy to hang out with Nathan. And Nathan trying to be flirty with her and trying to ask her to help him out on playing the dark game, and she sensed that Nathan trying to flirt with her and trying to get the opportunity to hang out with her more. She doesn't really seem happy to hang out with Nathan and play the game. I really believe that she was in a really, really good moment with Lucas, enjoying his company and just having fun with the game with each other, just the two of them, and Nathan ruined it. Last but not least, we have to talk about it. Nathan lied to Lucas. I mean, I understand Nathan trying to get alone time with Elizabeth, and he really doesn't want to embarrass himself even furthermore, so he sneakily stole Elizabeth away from Lucas. Nathan made himself look even more bad, even more embarrassed. I mean, Lucas knew what Nathan did, so yeah, it doesn't look good on Nathan in Lucas' perspective.
A little birdie told me someone left you a nice surprise on your doorstep this morning.
Yes, it was unexpected.
Well, nobody deserves it more than you do.
Thank you, Florence. It made my day.
But really interesting how the writers decided to put Lucas right behind Florence. I truly believe the way she looked at Lucas, she really believed that Lucas was the one. But the look on Lucas, you have to think about it. It's like, did he really send her the flowers? Did Nathan send her those flowers? Like, could it be like a third suspect, that sent her the flowers? Like, if you haven't watched this entire episode yet, I really don't want to spoil, but in this moment, it's just like, okay, if Lucas and Nathan didn't say anything about the flowers to Elizabeth, it could be a potential third suspect in this mystery.
Can't help but notice you seem to spend a lot of time with
Nathan.
I was gonna say Lucas.
Oh, I tried to spend time with everyone who was at the party.
Of course. Good night, Elizabeth.
Okay, is it me or am I watching the wrong episode? But at the party, I feel like what the editors of the show put on the final cut, I feel like Elizabeth spent more time with Lucas than Nathan. But it's really interesting how Rosemary thought that Elizabeth spent more time with Nathan. But in all honesty, from what I've seen in this episode, is that Elizabeth spent more time with Lucas at the party.
We know you better than you think.
And?
And you are terrible at hiding your feelings.
What feelings?
Oh, that right there. It's like you're determined to prove my point.
Rosemary, it isn't that simple.
Try me.
Oh, never mind. This is too embarrassing.
Elizabeth.
Saying it out loud just makes it feel too real.
All right. Then I'll say it for you. Your heart is open again, isn't it? And now it's being pulled in two different directions. Well, I, for one, am thrilled for you.
Don't be. Besides, I fear I misread both of them anyway.
The spoiler, Rosemary did send Elizabeth the flowers, so that canceled out Lucas and Nathan right off the bat. But at the same time, this scene is very important to Elizabeth's character and her growth in regard to romance in her life. It's nice to finally hear Elizabeth's declaration on her feelings about Nathan and Lucas. She's very confused. She is aware that there are two men competing for her heart at the same time. To me, it seemed that she is giving both men a fair chance, but it's kind of like contradict to what I seen at the party. I feel like she was more comfortable with Lucas at the party.
Because if the flowers had been from one of them, then it would be real. And I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
She basically guarding her heart. I need to move on, but I think it will be at a slow pace in that at the same time she is guarding her emotion and her heart and just protecting herself. Exciting at the same time too. She is moving on from Jack. Not completely yet, but she is starting to, and it's a beautiful story to tell. And one more thing she mentioned about if Lucas or Nathan did give her those flowers, it would have been real. So from what I get from that statement from Elizabeth is that she is aware of the love triangle in front of her very own eyes, and I truly believe she has something for Lucas and she has something for Nathan, but it's different for both men, and she doesn't want to say it out loud. She doesn't want to tell Lucas or Nathan. She doesn't want to say it out loud to herself. She kept her feelings and emotion and thought to herself about these two men, and I think she doesn't want to say it. She wants something to happen to her that would confirm to her that, oh, this might be something serious, like this might be a potential new relationship in my life.
I thought you might like these.
I don't know what to say.
You don't have to say anything. Just enjoy them. You deserve it.
Thank you.
Well, it appears as though things just became real.
Lucas. Nathan.
So remember, if you watched the first part of this recap in the previous video, if you did not, you should check it out and show some love. But I mentioned in the previous video is that Lucas and Elizabeth have this common theme between one another, surprises. Elizabeth did not expect Lucas to show up on her doorstep with a beautiful bouquet, and she loved good surprises. She did mention that to Lucas, and I think Lucas did have those words close to his heart, and of course Lucas wanted to do something nice for her at the same time. So it was a good surprise for Elizabeth from Lucas. Things got real. Elizabeth swallowed, and you can tell that she realized that Lucas just did one of the most romantic gestures a man can do for a woman, and the flowers are beautiful, and she's just shocked and happy at the same time. And it's really interesting how Lucas got there first instead of Nathan being there first. And Lucas knows it. He beat Nathan to it. The timing was impeccable, and Lucas is very happy that he got there before Nathan did. And Nathan, of course, his mind started calculating again and thinking like, oh, I hope Lucas didn't give Elizabeth flowers. But at the same time, Lucas now knows that Nathan is going to give Elizabeth flowers too, and he knows that what Nathan's plan was. Remember at the saloon of the bachelor party, Nathan told Lucas that he already had done something nice, but he didn't really do it until this moment. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Elizabeth's reaction to Nathan's flowers. What's exciting about this scene is that no one knows that Rosemary sent the flowers yet, I assume. So these men were very motivated, very encouraged by Rosemary flowers to get flowers themselves to give to Elizabeth as a romantic gesture, of course. So it's really nice that these men did not back down. Even competition at the end, but I think it's very significant that Lucas did get there first. And we'll see how the next episode plays out. And yeah, it's really exciting going forward. See how these two men continue to compete for her heart. And I'll see you on Sunday as usual for episode 6 of season 7. Getting so close. I hope you're having a great week. Bye.